YouTube viewers, once again it's 81 Sedger, and I am going to be doing another review on a classic Hammer horror film. As you can see, looking at your screen in front of you, the great Christopher Lee is holding the DVD of The Curse of Frankenstein. Now this has got to be recognised as Hammer's first movie, proper good first film, and what followed after was even better. More Frankenstein films, more Dracula films, but those are different reviews. I'm going to concentrate on this review today, on The Curse of Frankenstein. As you can see, like I said on the screen, the DVD, and I'll go a little bit over that DVD after. That is a customised case, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Right, The Curse of Frankenstein, filmed between the 19th of November 1956 and the 3rd of January 1957. It was released on the 2nd of May 1957, approximately 82 minutes long, and directed by the Hammer maestro, Terence Fisher. Very, very good film. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you a little bit about the movie itself, and then talk about a few little bit extras afterwards. Right, about the film. So basically, in a mountain prison, a priest, who is played by Alex Gallier, is listening to the confession of the condemned murderer Baron Victor Frankenstein, played by the great Peter Cushing, and he's telling him a story going back to when he was a 15-year-old boy, schoolboy, and the brilliant Victor, who is then played by Melvin Hayes, who did quite a few Cliff Richard films, I think. Anyway, the young Victor, he inherits the family fortune, and with his money he appoints himself a science tutor by the name of Paul Kremper, played by Robert Urquhart, and together they research the reanimation of the dead. And after a few years pass, they succeed in reviving the corpse of a dog with electricity. Victor then comes up with the idea that they should build a perfect human being who possesses a lifetime of knowledge. But to do this, Victor is driven to murder, and he kills a great Professor Bernstein, played by Paul Hardmuth, and he uses his brain, but Paul, his tutor, he turns on him. He doesn't like what he's doing, and they fight, and the brain gets damaged, but Victor repairs the brain, or so he thinks, and on a very stormy night, lightning, thunder, all that, a stray bolt of lightning triggers off the process, which brings the hideous creature played by, you know who it is, I don't have to tell you, Christopher Lee. What a great monster he played in this film, and he comes to life deranged and attempts to kill his own creator Victor, but they restrain it, and over the night the monster escapes, attacks and kills a blind man and his grandson, and then Paul does what he wanted to do from the start. He shoots him in the face. They think it's over, but Victor, he digs him back up again. You know, they bury him, but he digs him up, and he exhumed and revived once more. And I'm going to stop at that point, because if I go any further into the film, it will spoil it. It will spoil it. And those of you who haven't seen this film, I don't want to spoil it for you. There's a few bits of information here that I think Hammer decided to come up with something different. After, I think they did Quatermass first, they wanted to do something different. So they approached Universal, who came up with the original Frankenstein film in the 30s, and obviously the monster then was played by Boris Karloff. And I know they had to come up with a deal where Hammer couldn't portray anything that Boris Karloff looked. They couldn't use the bolts, the flat head, so they came up with the creature you see in the film, a disgusting, hideous, deformed creature that should be perfect but isn't. But that, you know, that's what they came up with. I know Christopher Lee spent a long time in makeup doing getting all that done. Little bit of information extra for you. Christopher Lee wasn't the first choice to play the creature in this film. It was actually a carry-on film regular, and that was Bernard Bresslaw. A lot of you probably know that, being Hammer horror film fans. But Bernard Bresslaw was approached because of his size. But when they saw Christopher Lee do it, they decided that he was tall. He knew a lot about mime, Christopher Lee, and theatre work, so he was the choice. And obviously, if Bernard Bresslaw would have been the monster, Christopher Lee's future would have been totally different. You know, we might not have seen him in any other Hammer horror films. So, you know, we thank Hammer for choosing Christopher Lee. Another bit, during the film, there's a scene where Peter Cushing takes the head off of a hanged highwayman, which is obviously the body they use for this creature. He takes the head off and he goes to put it in a big vat of acid. Now I know, I've said this in my other reviews, they are going to release this on Blu-ray, or I hope they're going to release it on Blu-ray with that added scene, if they can get it, where you see Peter Cushing actually put that head in and it dissolves. Now I know in the DVD that you're looking at in front of you, it's not on there. It was considered too gruesome when they took it out. But if you look on the Hammer website, they are asking people out there if they've got that scene, if they can have it. There's got to be some hardcore collector out there that has got that on some old copy, and they want it and they want to put it back in the film. So any of you YouTube viewers watching this review now, if you've got it, do it. Give it to them, because it will be absolutely fantastic to see the full print on Blu-ray. Well, there's not much else I can say about it. The only thing I can say to you is the DVD you're looking at is it's a customised case. This one, I lost the original case when I was moving house, which is a shame. But you can still buy it. It's not worth anything, you know. So I thought, well, I'll do myself a custom case, and I made that. I'm just going to reach round and flip him over so you can see on the back as well. Just go on, Christopher, hold it up. There we go. So that's the back of the box. What I'm going to do now is just, like I did in the last review, hold the camera up and show you what the menus look like on the DVD itself. So here we go. If I just lift the camera up. Sorry if I've got a bit of shake on here, but there we go. I lift up the camera, and that's the start screen. Classic. Beautiful the way they set these menus out with the old posters in the background. And you know, you've got your scene selections. Maybe I can put a little scene on. Or maybe I can just go back to the menu. Now I'll tell you what, I'm not going to put a scene on because it's going to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it. So that is my review on The Curse of Frankenstein. Absolutely fantastic. Like all Hammer horror films, especially the Draculas and the Frankenstein, this has got to be one of my favourites. It's the first one I ever saw, and I've been hooked ever since. So thank you to all you YouTube viewers and those who have left some nice comments on my other reviews. I do appreciate it. I appreciate the comments and any questions or anything like that on Hammer horror films. I've got tons and tons of literature stacked up, posters, books, everything. So if you want to know anything, just send me a message or leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Thank you YouTube. Good night.